Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based in the United Kingdom, and today I'm coming towards one of the last of my Sweet as a Peach project. So this is using the lovely You're Peach and Sweet as a Peach stamp set with the peach dies and the lovely paper, and this is kind of a gift box, but actually I've popped in there some little tea bags, so really useful for those little individual tea bags. I don't drink tea or coffee, but I do like fruit infusion, so I thought that was perfect for this. And as you can see, I've just used a bit of the DSP on the inside to decorate. I've made a little divider for the inside and then just held that in place with some of the beautiful in colour sheer ribbon that we've got, and then I've decorated it using a bit of blending. So to start off with then, we're going to need to cut some various pieces of card. Now I thought with this one I might use the sort of peachy card, because I haven't used this one, Peachy DSP, as much as some of the others, so I thought I'd go with the Balmy Blue and a bit of Misty Moonlight as some contrast as well. So you're going to need a piece of base card that is 19 by 27.5. So if I pop the bar out on that, so I'm just going to cut that at 19 and then at 27.5, like so. You want a piece of card for your inside as well as some layers. So I thought if I did the front panel first, I did that at 8.2. I haven't worked out the dimensions in inches yet. I'll do my best to do that. 8.2 by 13.7. And I want another piece that's 5.8 by 16.4. So again, I'm going to take it across the short side, go at 5.8. By 16.4, which conveniently is just the right side of that. And then you're going to want a piece of Whisper White, Basic White, keep getting that wrong, which is 8 by 13.5. Like so. Okay. And then finally we want some DSP, 5.7 by 13.7. 5.7 by 13.7. So that's the piece that just goes on the inside there, as you can see just there. Might cut that a little bit short. Let's have a look. That's probably why. Yeah, I've cut it a little bit short. So 5.7 is what you want. So let's just cut another piece. 5.7 by 13.7. There we go. Okay, then if you want to, you can cut a narrow strip just to go along the front there. And off the top of my head, that was just over a centimetre. So yeah, it's about 1.3 by again 13.7. That's if you want to decorate that front edge with a narrow strip as well. So once you've done some cutting, let's do a bit of stamping, and then that can be drying and we'll do the scoring. So for the stamping, what I've actually done is I've used my blending brushes to create a kind of background colour first. So I thought that we'll go for some Balmy Blue and a bit of Pale Papaya, and I thought I might use the flowers to go on top of that. So I've got brushes for each of the kind of colour groups. So this one is my blues brush. So all I'm going to do is just take that off and just come in from the corner. And just build up the colour to be as deep as you want. Just keep going over and over. I like to kind of brush off a little bit first, just to help get rid of any kind of deep patches of colour. So that was kind of my sky effect. And then I was going to use my pale papaya with my kind of oranges brush. And I thought rather than the peaches, I might actually use the flowers on this one to give you a bit of contrast with. Or what I haven't done is cut my layers, I don't think. There we go. So it just kind of creates a nice two-tone background, and you can sort of blend over that until you're ready, and you can see how much actually comes off, and you get real depth of colour on that. So the next thing I'm going to do is grabbing your Stampin' Pierce mat, and I'm going to do the leaves. So I'm just going to grab Pear Pizzazz. That's the colour that's in the DSP itself, and I'm just going to come in. And actually what I'm going to do is just pop a little bit of scrap grid paper on my Stampin' Pierce mat, because what I'm going to do is come in from the edge, and what I don't want to do is make too much of a mess of my Stampin' Pierce mat, like so. There you go, stuck to it. So now I'm going to do my flowers in Balmy Blue. I'm going to check them out first on my spare paper, because I haven't actually, it's a while since I've done these. So I'm stamping up in Balmy Blue, then with Misty Moonlight and a sponge dauber I'm just adding a little bit of colour. Let's just, there we go, yes, that's quite a pretty effect. So clean those off a little bit. That's because I don't want to contaminate my Balmy Blue with my Misty Moonlight. And then you just need to line those up, and I put a little arrow on mine so that it goes up towards the top to make it easier for me, and just pop those in against the stalks. And again, just a tiny bit of Misty Moonlight, because it's quite a strong colour. Again, turning that in so. Obviously, you know, if you were doing a lot of stamping, then you'd probably want to just clean that off on your chamois as you go along. For this, I just find it easy because it's a very pale colour as well. Just as easy to do it on a scrap bit and just stamp a couple of times. So just hovering and lining those up with the stalks, like so. And then we've got our pretty background. I'm going to pop my ink pads away, and then I use the same effect to create one of the peaches. So I haven't actually got it out. Now you can then go in if you want to and stamp the very centre of those. At least you could if I'd got a little block. Okay, I'm just going to grab, I haven't got my little A block here. So that's the centre of flower that I use. And I just find that that adds a bit of definition. Now you can go in, you see, if you stand over it you'll get those centred. And obviously you could go in, I find going in with a darker colour is best, so you could go in with an orangey kind of centre like Stamens, but on a darker colour it doesn't always show up. So that's our flowers now finished off properly, and you do exactly the same effect with the peach. So what you would do is just take a scrap of our basic white, and using the same technique, ink up in your paler colour, grab a sponge dauber and your deeper colour. So in my case this is Calypso Coral, and then I'm just popping that on the edge and a tiny bit in the centre. And then when you stamp that, you'll find you get those lovely pink highlights. You'll want to stamp that and die cut it, and you could pop that on there. In this instance, because I've used the flowers, I'm actually going to do something a little bit different with the sentiment there. So pop that to one side. And gosh, it's so hot, really hot. We're going through a bit of a heat wave. For the UK, we've got 2 days of warming, so it's heat wave. That's me chucking my trim on the floor. So while those flowers are drying off with that piece, it's time to cut and score some of our other pieces. So what we want to do is, you'll see here, this shows you the scoring that we're going to be doing on this. So this is our fold over lid, and these are the side pieces, and this just folds up and attaches to the front there. So having cut your cards, this is our 19 by 27.5 piece. You're going to score on the short on each side at 1 and at 2.5. And I just find it easiest to do it at the same edge on the right hand side. 1 and again at 2.5. Then we want to score on the long at 6, 7.5, at 16, so that's right on the join there, at 17.5 and at 26. Like so. And then our shorter piece for the inside, so this is our 5.8 by 16.4 piece. You just want to score on the long at 6.8, 8.2 and 9.6. Like so. And that quite simply becomes just a little piece that you just use to create a little divider. Now, if you're going to pop jewellery or something in, you wouldn't need that, but it's there in case you do. Now that we've actually done our scoring, we're going to reinforce those. Bone folder, really useful here, just to reinforce those creases, those score lines I should say, and just helps that box come together really well. So just make sure we do that, and then while it's flat I'll actually add the DSP onto it as well. So as I said, this is the piece that folds up, so what we want to do is do a little bit of trimming on these as well. So if I pop this here, you'll see, that'll help you see where we want to trim. So first thing we're going to trim is this top section. We're going to come in and all the way down. Just to that first score line. Cut those outer two sections. Next, you want to trim the little squares, and you're going to cut a tab down to the side. So trim this away and just notch it very slightly, like so. We're going to just very slightly notch these ones on the very outer edge. Now this next section is the one you're coming in on this side and trimming away. So all the way down, like so, and coming in side. Now, this is the only bit where in fact we're going to do the tabs the other way. So we're going to carry on with that. Like so. Okay, so there you can see that becomes our piece of card. So the pieces that we've got, so this is our front layer. So we've got our layer of Misty Moonlight, which is going to have our pretty panel on it. So I'm just going to use, take the lid off, doesn't it? Some seal. These are great little gifts, you know, if you're doing craft fairs, these work really well. Oh, and have I done it? I know I left a tiny border on this. Have I left it too tiny? Oh, I possibly have. Okay, so before that gets stuck down, I'm actually going to just check my measurements. Okay, so this one should be slightly smaller. I'm just going to take a millimetre off there. Best laid plans and all that. There we go. Okay, then that's going to go onto the front of our box. You can tell it's warm because my glue is really tacky today. So add our panel to the front. And then if you think about it, on this piece, that's where our DSP is going to go. So it's just going to pop on the front there. And I haven't done a layer on that. And that's twofold, because it's on the inside anyway. I didn't think it was necessary. And you don't want to add too much bulk to your box either. There we go, like so. And then all that remains is for us to add our little panel on the front here. Like so. So I'm going to put some tape just on the inside of this. So you're going to use your Seal Plus and just run that up the outside edge of the flap, not the tabs, because the tabs don't come all the way. So fold those in and then just fold up, fold the tab in, just line that up, and pop your finger on the inside, and that then allows our divider to pop in. Now you can glue that down in place if you're using it, but you'll see that just comes to the top there. So we can add our fruit infusions, and I say there's a whole variety these days that you can get that will fit into these sort of boxes, and they're pretty much a standard size. I kind of went for a variety of pucker and Twinings. And then all that remains is just add a little bit of trim, and I've just happened to have some baker's twine, which I thought I would use because I happened to what I'd got in the right colour. So I've just double wrapped that around and just tie the bow. And there we have a little tea bag box ready to gift away. Pop it in your handbag, give it to someone, or even have it as a craft fair idea. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you again soon. Bye now.